Hi everybody, I will bring you the Lenovo Legion Y7000P 2022 experience report today. The laptop was purchased by JD.com for the first time. After I bought it, my place was closed due to the epidemic. It was already in early April when I got it. The production date of the laptop is March 26, 2022. The configuration of this unboxing is i5 to 12500H and RTX 3050, which belongs to the beggar version in Y7000P 2022. The initial price is 67.99 yuan or $945. After the initial release, the daily price is 75.99 yuan or $1,060, and there are two active prices, 69.99 and 27.99 yuan. After opening the box, it is still the traditional packaging method of the Legion Y7000P. Two hard foam protector notebook bodies, next to a 230 watts power supply. The laptop is gun gray, with metal on three sides of A, C, and D, thanks to the replacement of the laptop with metal material this year. It is very beautiful compared to last year's Legion Y7000P. The A side is very low-key, except for a faint-colored Legion logo on one corner. Most of the interfaces are on the back of the laptop, with network ports, Type-C, 2 USB-A and power ports. There are only two Type-C on the left side of the laptop, one of which supports Thunderbolt 4. There is USB-A on the right side of the laptop, a headset port and a camera shield switch, and a power indicator to mark the notebook status. The back of the laptop Legion Y7000P is not much different from the previous generation, and there are still long air intakes and foot pads. Because it is a metal body, it is easy to get fingerprints, and I am an oily hand. Please ignore the fingerprints on the laptop. The laptop can be opened and closed with one hand, and can be fully opened and closed 180 degrees. The keyboard is still the traditional strength of the Legion Y7000P, whether it is the small keyboard or the full-size arrow keys, they are all arranged clearly. The weight of the laptop is 2,390 grams, the weight of the adapter is 853 grams, and the travel weight is 3,250 grams, which is 6.5 pounds. With the mouse and backpack, it can be almost 8 pounds. This is not light, and it is extremely exercise. In addition, the Legion Y7000P 2022 supports PD charging, whether it is turned on or off. After the actual measurement, it is charged with Xiaomi 65 watt scan, and it will not lose power in light office situations. Under the Rescuer's own 135 watt scan private agreement, it can provide 100 watts performance release. But this charger has not been sold yet, so there is no way to test it. i5 to 12500H, based on Intel 10nm process. 4 large cores, 8 small cores. The maximum turbo frequency of the performance core is 4.5 GHz. The maximum turbo frequency of the energy efficiency core is 3.3 GHz. The reference power consumption is 45 watts. The maximum turbo frequency power consumption is 95 watts. RTX 3050. This graphics card is very familiar to everyone, based on Samsung's 8nm process. GDDR6 magnesium memory, 128-bit wide. Supports PCIe 4.0 and 16, but works in PCIe 4.0 and 8 mode on Y7000P. This solid-state drive has been tested on Shadow Elf8 before, but the SSD running score of the Y7000 drive is not the same. Use Tune to run 200G mixed mode. The write speed is 3.5 gigabits per second. The cache is about 50G. The write speed after the cache is about 700 megabytes per second. The write speed is basically maintained at 4 gigabits per second. There are 2 drops in the middle fast. It recovered quickly, and it basically has no effect. The test results are basically consistent with the solid-state performance of Shadow Elf8. The Y7000P is equipped with a BOE high color gamut screen, which is much better than the screen on the Shadow Elf8, especially the resolution has been increased to 2560 by 1440 pixels. Other parameters, such as 165 Hz refresh, 100% sRGB, anti-blue light, etc., all are standard, and the brightness is quite satisfactory, at 300 nits. After getting the notebook, update the BIOS version to 37 watt, and check the driver update through the built-in Legion Zone, which are all the latest. During the theoretical performance test, the whole process is in beast mode. The graphics card driver is 497.47. The graphics card is in the independent display direct connection mode. The room temperature is about 24 degrees Celsius, and the laptop is raised with the Rescuer Z3 bracket. Run 30 rounds of R15 continuously with the script. The maximum value is 2265. The minimum value is 2204, and the difference is only 61. The performance of the Y7000P is particularly stable. For a single-baked CPU, the first 3 or 4 minutes is maintained at 100 watt, and the frequency is reduced in the 5th minute, and the power consumption is maintained at about 90 watt. The power consumption of the roaster is still the same for 30 minutes. Double baking can maintain the power consumption of CPU and GPU at 45 watt and 95 watt. However, when I baked the graphics card of the laptop, I turned on 8x, so the power consumption of the display was less than 95 watt. Later, when When I turned off 8x, it reached 95 watt. When double baking, the power consumption of the power strip is 163.4 watt. The noise of the laptop is 56.4 decibels. The position of the person is 50.3 decibels. And the place where the temperature of the laptop keyboard is the highest is 45.6 degrees Celsius. As mentioned above, the game testing and theoretical performance testing maintain the same conditions. The starting price of $945 and its performance surprised me a lot. I feel that last year's Y7000P with RTX 3050 version did not have such performance, which should be the reason for the blessing of the 12th generation core. When it was first released, it was relatively easy to purchase, and most of the friends who wanted to purchase it had already bought it. Back to the laptop itself. This laptop has no obvious shortcomings. Whether it is accessories, performance or daily performance, it is very good, especially the 2.5K resolution screen. Before I tested it, I thought this would be a disadvantage, but I didn't expect it to feel very good in daily use. It's just that you need to manually adjust to 1080p when playing games. Although it's a bit troublesome, you only need to adjust it once. I feel that basically I don't need to consider the RTX 3060 version, especially for those with insufficient budget. Now the RTX 3050 is completely sufficient at 1080p, and it's not impossible to play with a slight reduction of the effect, right? This should be the laptop Enter gaming laptop I have tested so far. If I insist on the shortcomings, it is that the body is too heavy, and a weight of 2,390 grams does not look like an enter-level gaming notebook at all. This is still a little thin this year, but considering its excellent performance, nor is it unacceptable. In the end, it is not easy to evaluate at your own expense. I hope you can support it 3 consecutive times. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, write me the comments below. Have a great day and see you soon.